When fans talk about legendary showdowns, few matchups spark as much excitement as Kong vs Titan X, the last defense fails. It's the kind of battle that feels larger than life, a clash between raw primal force and the ultimate engineered war machine. In a world where humanity's final hope rests on cold steel and calculated firepower, what happens when nature's most powerful guardian refuses to fall? This is not just a fight. It's a statement about strength, survival, and the thin line between control and chaos. Kong has always represented more than a giant creature towering over skylines. Since his first appearance in the classic King Kong, he has symbolized the untamed power of nature, misunderstood, unstoppable, and fiercely protective of his territory. Over decades of cinematic evolution, from King Kong to Kong, Skull Island, Kong has grown from a tragic beast into a true titan, a guardian capable of standing toe-to-toe with gods. In Godzilla vs. Kong, we witnessed his resilience against another alpha predator, proving that Kong isn't just muscle, he's strategy, adaptability, and heart. Now imagine placing that force of nature against Titan X, humanity's final defense protocol. Titan X isn't just another mech. It's the culmination of decades of reverse-engineered kaiju biology, alien alloys, and next-generation AI combat systems. Built in secret after the devastation left by global Titan conflicts, Titan X was designed with one purpose: eliminate the alpha threat permanently. No hesitation, no emotion, no mercy. The battlefield is a ruined megacity at dusk. Skyscrapers flicker with emergency power. Smoke drifts across broken highways. Military drones circle at a distance, broadcasting live feeds to underground command centers. Humanity is watching, waiting, praying that their ultimate creation will succeed where armies failed. Titan X activates with a thunderous hum, its reactor core glowing like a synthetic sun. Every movement is precise. Hydraulic limbs lock into place. Rail cannons charge. Shoulder-mounted plasma arrays track the massive heat signature approaching through the smoke. And then Kong steps forward. He doesn't roar immediately. He studies. His eyes reflect the mechanical titan towering before him. This isn't an animal opponent. It doesn't breathe. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't fear. But Kong understands conflict better than any machine ever could. The first strike comes from Titan X. A hypersonic rail blast tears through the skyline, collapsing buildings in its wake. Kong dodges with shocking agility, using debris as cover. The ground shatters beneath the impact. The message is clear: this machine was built to kill gods. Kong responds with brute force. He rips a fallen skyscraper beam from the rubble and charges. Titan X calculates trajectory and counters with an energy blade extending from its forearm. Steel meets fury in an explosion of sparks. The shockwave rattles windows miles away. This is where the narrative shifts. Titan X represents humanity's belief that control can replace coexistence. After years of Titan devastation, leaders decided there was no room left for balance. Only dominance. The machine adapts mid-fight, analyzing Kong's movement patterns, predicting attack angles, and adjusting in milliseconds. But Kong is not predictable. He leaps onto Titan X's torso, smashing armored plating with relentless blows. The AI recalibrates, unleashing a pulse of electromagnetic energy that sends Kong crashing into a cluster of high rises. Dust clouds the skyline. For a moment, it looks like the end. Command centers erupt in cautious optimism. The last defense is working. Then the rubble shifts. Kong rises, bloodied but unbroken. He pounds his chest, the sound echoing like thunder. This isn't just defiance. It's dominance. Titan X charges its plasma arrays for a finishing strike, energy building to catastrophic levels. If fired at full capacity, the blast could level what remains of the city. And that's the flaw. Titan X was built for elimination, not preservation. It calculates success purely in terms of target neutralization. Kong, however, fights with awareness of territory. Instinctively, he draws the machine away from the city's core, baiting it toward the waterfront. Even in battle, he protects his domain. The climax unfolds at the harbor. Cargo ships burn. Waves crash violently against shattered docks. Titan X unleashes its full arsenal: missile swarms, sonic disruptors, concentrated plasma beams. The sky lights up like a warzone apocalypse. Kong adapts in real time. He uses a wrecked aircraft carrier as a shield, hurling containers like projectiles. He dives beneath the water to break targeting locks, emerging behind Titan X with devastating force. With a roar that shakes the clouds, he tears into the mech's shoulder assembly, ripping out cables and sparking circuitry. Titan X initiates emergency override mode. Its reactor output spikes beyond safe parameters. One final blast. One final chance to end the alpha. But Kong is faster. He drives a broken steel mast straight into the reactor housing. The resulting explosion sends a shockwave across the bay. Water rises in a massive wall of steam and fire. For a split second, everything goes silent. When the smoke clears, Titan X lies motionless, half submerged, its glowing core dimming into darkness. The last defense has failed. Kong stands atop the wreckage, breathing heavily, illuminated by the burning horizon. He doesn't celebrate. He simply watches as helicopters retreat into the distance. The message is unmistakable. Dominance cannot be engineered. This battle resonates because it taps into a deeper fear and fascination. Can technology truly surpass nature? Humanity has always believed that innovation equals superiority. From nuclear power to artificial intelligence, we build systems meant to outthink and overpower. Titan X embodies that belief. Its precision, its calculation, its humanity's refusal to feel powerless again. But Kong represents something older. Something instinctual, adaptation born from survival, not programming. Emotion driving action, awareness beyond algorithms. The reason the last defense fails isn't because Titan X lacks power. It fails because it lacks understanding. It cannot evolve beyond its directive. Kong evolves every second he fights. For YouTube audiences, this concept creates the perfect storm of cinematic storytelling and philosophical depth. It's more than explosions and visual spectacle. It's a narrative about balance. When humans attempt total control, they risk becoming the very threat they fear. Imagine the visuals in a full cinematic breakdown. Slow-motion shots of Kong dodging plasma blasts, close-ups of Titan X's HUD recalibrating, wide aerial views of the city collapsing in waves of fire. The sound design alone, metal grinding against bone, thunderous roars, reactor cores charging, would make viewers feel every impact. But beyond spectacle lies the emotional core. Kong fights not out of revenge, but instinct to survive and protect. Titan X fights because it was told to. That difference changes everything. And here's where the story leaves room for future conflict. The destruction of Titan X doesn't erase humanity's fear. If anything, it amplifies it. Governments won't simply stop building. They'll analyze data, identify weaknesses, and design something stronger. Maybe faster, maybe smarter. But can anything truly account for the unpredictable nature of a living Titan? That lingering question is what makes Kong vs. Titan X, the last defense fails such a compelling narrative. It's not just about who wins. It's about what the victory means. Nature cannot be permanently subdued. Control is temporary. Balance is fragile. As the sun rises over the ruined harbor, emergency sirens echo through the distance. News headlines will call it a catastrophic loss. Military analysts will label it a systems failure. Engineers will debate what went wrong. But in the silence beyond human understanding, Kong returns to the shadows, still king. Not because he destroyed a machine, but because he proved that dominance built on fear will always crumble. If this battle were brought to life in a cinematic universe, it would redefine the Titan genre once again. It would push visual effects boundaries, explore ethical dilemmas about AI warfare, and deepen Kong's legacy as more than a monster. He is a force of balance in a world desperate for control. And that's why the last defense fails hits so hard. It reminds us that sometimes the strongest weapon isn't the one we build. It's the one that has survived since the beginning. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Kong vs. Titan X, imagine what other Titan matchups could reveal about power, technology, and survival. Because in the end, every defense has a breaking point. And every king defends his throne.